Welcome everyone who is joining us for the info session for certificate in bookkeeping that we're offering at Ashton College. My name is Anna Torina and I'm one of the project managers at Ashton, as well as the host for this info session. So I'm very excited and while we're waiting for people to join, a few technical details. If you, at any time of this info session, if you want to ask any questions, please do so in a chat box or in the Q&A section that you can see at the bottom of your screen. If you're watching us on Facebook, please comment under the video and we'll read those comments as well and discuss them live. Also, you will see some announcements in a chat box Rita, the information services, she will be monitoring the chat and Q&A. So thank you, Rita. And I have Sanjay Background here today with me. How are you, Sanjay?
Hi. Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's really
How was
good.
your weekend, Sanjay?
Yeah, it was good. Had a nice time. Relaxed a little bit. Actually, I had injury on two of my legs, so not much to do. Just took some rest, but yeah, overall it was good.
Thank you. Yes. So Sanjay Background is one of the instructors for Certificate in Booking Live Online that we're offering. And he's been over 2 decades in accounting, right? And did his CPA in United States and in Canada as well, as if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, absolutely.
And Sanjay is the MBA instructor for some schools, as well as he's teaching at Ashton for over 2 years now. So we're really glad to have you on team, Sanjay. And maybe you can start by telling us a little bit more about yourself and what you've done in the industry, what companies you worked for.
Okay, yeah, sure. Absolutely. So it's a pleasure to be here, to be getting an opportunity to interact with the students, hopefully the potential students. They join our course and get to see what we are here to offer to you. So my name is Sanjay Bhatia. I am a certified public accountant and a chartered professional accountant from US and CPA respectively, Canada, I mean. So my journey is kind of like, I would like to give you a little bit brief view about myself. So my journey started in Canada. I was born in Canada. And after a few years, I went back to India. And there I had all my formal education up to college level. There I did my CA from India, which is equivalent of what we have here, CPA, with a little bit of a change, but there are a lot of people who come from India and they become CPA here. Then in I think 2010, I moved to States, and when I was in States, I got an opportunity to do my certified public accountant for there, which helped me to gain foothold in the big companies, in the Fortune 500 companies. Worked for a company called Fidelity. I was in California for about 3 years. And then after that, I moved to Virginia. And in Virginia, I was working in a mid-sized company in the main section, accounting section, accounting and finance section, getting a very good exposure on leasing. So that was a very great project I had. I was there for about 3 years again there. Then from there, I moved to AOL, which is the Time Warner company, similar to what we had Yahoo and Google. So there I got an opportunity to work in the accounting department, and there I was, most of the time I was confined to the revenue project, because these companies have got a lot of things where they have to put up their revenue in such a way that they should be able to recognize it. It's not like a straightforward thing where you buy stuff and you recognize revenue. There's lots of other stuff going on. So it's a very complicated thing. So we had to do some write-ups and give it to the higher up to the board for review. and then finally it got reviewed. So I got a very good opportunity to work in that section along with doing my bookkeeping also. So that was a very, very useful experience that I had, and that really made, I got a chance to work in QuickBooks a lot starting from there. In fact, I started working in QuickBooks when I was in California. So I have been working in QuickBooks for a long time. And I like that. Somehow, I don't know, I got a liking for QuickBooks. So from there, I moved to Canada. And in Canada, then for a few years, I was working in a bookkeeping as a bookkeeper. Then I did my CPA, my chartered from here, completed it. And then I was working in an accounting firm. I worked in a couple of firms, and I got an opportunity, got an exposure to different types of industries, like construction industry, also like, and the what you call the IT industry, a lot of like different industries I got to work to, and I got a lot of good exposure. Did a lot of bookkeeping at the same time, become an accountant, so was monitoring a lot of bookkeepers to make sure that they're doing their stuff properly. And from there, along this time when I was doing all this thing, I had always a passion for teaching, because I personally felt that when I've learned something, it becomes my duty to give this to the people who are going to get into this industry. So why not give them this opportunity to get to learn from me, and get some experience, so that I can share my experience, whatever I had, right from the beginning to and how to go up. And it's a very exciting time right now. Just to tell you, like, you might be thinking, oh, it's a COVID, everything is done. No, it's a very, very exciting time to be becoming a bookkeeper. And the reason being that a lot of things are changing. The background is changing. A lot of industry is changing. A lot of companies are changing their overall module. So it's a very, very good time to do it. So that's what my brief introduction is about me.
Thank you, Sanjay. You have a global experience, and you worked in so many different companies. Our students are lucky to have you as one of the instructors for this program, because you're bringing such a broad experience. And it's great to hear. So for those who just joined us, please ask your questions in Q&A and chat box at any time. We will be reading and discussing them. And maybe, Sanjay, we can talk about the certificate structure and who will benefit from this program. Who is this program for that we offer?
Yes, absolutely. So this program is basically for people who want to start their own business. It's a very useful thing, especially nowadays with the bookkeeper. If you understand how bookkeeping works, then you can, do your bookkeeping. Along with that, you can do your business. So that's where you know what's happening and you can control, especially when you are at a very initial stage. And later on, once your business gets established, then what you can do is you can hire somebody, and then when that bookkeeper is doing the stuff, you understand what he's doing and how to make sure that he's doing it as per your process, or as per your whatever program you have in your place and processes you have in place. So that's a very useful thing for that category of people, I would say. For people who are coming from, like, who are new immigrants and they want to start, have a career here in Canada, it's never easy, because especially when you are coming from outside country, you don't have the Canadian experience, which is very, very important in Canada. So this is a very good opportunity for you to gain this understanding of how and get this degree or this certification, which will help you, prepare you to get into the Canadian market, because it's as we will talk about later, it's a certified course. So that way, it's a very, very useful course to have. Then people who perhaps were in some other profession, and now they feel that it's time to maybe change. This is also very good certification for them. That way they can learn right from what I like about the overall certification is that it starts from the very beginning, and then it moves up and up. So that way you are not like, you get an overall picture of how accounting works, or how bookkeeping works, starting from the very, very beginning. So that's why it's a very, very useful course, I personally feel, for anybody who wants to get a good understanding of bookkeeping, develop their skills in bookkeeping.
Hey, thank you, Sanjay. That's great to hear. And maybe we can talk about the actual modules, what we cover inside the course, what topics
Yes.
and course.
Yeah, basically, like for the bookkeeping purposes, let's say I will be doing most of the time, I'm doing a certified, what you call the computerized bookkeeping. So in computerized bookkeeping, we are focusing on QuickBooks and everything. But at the same time, before that, there is what you call financial accounting, which will prepare you to, which will make you understand how accounting works in the theoretical portion of it. Like all the modules, how what's accounts payable, what's accounts receivable, how the fixed assets are, how to classify a, whenever there is a journal entry done, how to classify it into proper, like record it in proper way. So there are different mod. There is the inventory module also, which is very useful for people whenever you get into different industries, especially the manufacturing industry or processing industry. There you use it a lot. Along with this, because my major focus has been for now. Earlier, I had done cost accounting also. There is, I think, cost accounting also. There's taxation also, and then there is the financial accounting, taxation, payroll. Payroll is also a very important. I recently started instructing payroll also courses also, and it's one of the most important aspect, and that's why in the course they have kept it very separate, which is a very good thing to do. So with the payroll, computerized bookkeeping, regular financial accounting, and taxation and cost accounting, it's a very comprehensive course that you get to learn.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sanjay. And actually, yeah, a few things about our admission requirements. So you have to be 19 years old and have a high school diploma, and you have to meet our English language proficiency requirements. And I see that the policy on admission is posted in our chat box, so please review. And if you have any questions, you can always email at info@ashtoncollege.ca anytime. We had a few questions in Q&A box. One is from Angela. She was wondering, is the online course, will it be online for the duration of the course, or will that change with COVID restriction? And the answer is this program is full-time live online. So that's the way we offer it, no matter if COVID is around or not. This course is offered live online. When you connect to the platform along with the instructor, and you have a live webinar where you can ask and interact with your instructor face-to-face, ask any question. And we also always encourage you to have a proper webcam and a headset so you can ask your questions and participate actively in class. Is this the case, Sanjay? Could you maybe tell us how the online classes are going, and what things you do in class, what kind of activities you do in class?
So as you all know that this is a practically oriented course. It's not like a regular, BA degree course. It's more like it's totally practically oriented. So the idea here is to have an interactive session. That's what I believe in, and that's how we do it always. So it's going to be like where we're going to lecture for some time, and then I keep on asking questions in between, where we discuss stuff. I want people to be involved. So you learn only by doing it. You learn only by asking questions. So the more questions you're going to ask, the more you're going to get the idea how the process is working. Any doubts at any time, I always encourage, whenever, let's say, I'm saying something, I'm teaching, and at some point you feel like, I don't understand something, you can immediately say, okay, I don't understand, can you please repeat that, can you please clarify that? And then I will love to do that. And I always believe that whenever I give any example, I always try to relate it to my actual experience that I had. So I try to pull that in so that you can see the actual picture of how the courses are going to be so useful for you when you actually go into the bookkeeping, or in the industry to do bookkeeping.
Thank you, Sanjay. And For those who are wondering what happens if you missed a class, we always record the sessions, and they are available for you. Instructor will be able to share it with you. However, you have to attend at least 70% of all classes and to complete the course. So we understand that sometimes there are some other responsibilities and some other things you have to commit to. And for that case, we record the session for your convenience.
Yeah,
Right?
that's a very, very useful thing actually to have, because I know a lot of people. This is from my practical experience of teaching people. There are lots of them who are not able to, be there at that point because maybe they are at work or maybe they have to take care of some family stuff. So this is a very useful thing. But the only thing, as she pointed out, it should not be like, you should not assume that I will listen to it later and everything should be fine. Live is live. Because in life there are so many discussions which happen, and there where questions are popped up and where the concepts are clear, they are looked at. So that's what I feel.
Yes, thank you, Sanjay. And the main question that many students might be wondering, are there any benefits of taking this certificate if a student wants to work in accounting, not bookkeeping, eventually in accounting?
Absolutely. See, that this is the thing is there that what I personally feel is this is the problem that's why I said today are exciting times. Why they're exciting times? I mentioned it. Now I'm going to be a little bit more elaborate what I think is, because what's happening is nowadays the employers, they are looking for people who can do kind of multitasking, not like at the same time same type of job, but they can handle different projects. So one of the things is that if you are a good bookkeeper, you do this course and you gain a very, very good understanding of how bookkeeping works. Your fundamentals are very, very clear. Your concepts are extremely clear. Then what happens is that when you go into as a bookkeeper, even if you start as a bookkeeper, you move very fast, because nowadays I can tell you, I can vouch for that employers are looking for a person who can not only do bookkeeping, but at the same time, if he can become an accountant, they will love to have him. Because that what happens is, if you are a good bookkeeper, you do your job nicely, and then you get an opportunity to become an accountant, and that accountant will be able to supervise other bookkeepers. So if you think about it, that's why this course is a fundamental and a grassroots course which helps you to prepare to become a senior accountant. Maybe you can join, you can start doing your CPA after that. This is a very good opportunity, because if your fundamentals are clear, you will go faster. And this is where this particular course will come. It fast tracks you into the actual thing. Nowadays, I personally feel you are not here to learn very theoretical stuff of it. You're trying to learn what is required, what industry requires. We give it to you, and then you go in there and you'll implement it. That's how I feel it is. And that's why I personally feel, even, you're thinking about becoming a very good course for that purposes. Okay.
Thank you, Sanjay. And I know we're teaching Sage 50 and QuickBooks as part of our program. And but I think a lot of future bookkeepers and even those who completed the course are wondering which program is better to use, right? Is it Sage? Is it QuickBooks? Is it anything else that is out there on the market? And there are so many different softwares right now available, right? Is it better to use online version or desktop version? Do you have any comments on that, like as an advice?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I always say, and this is a very normal thing, technology is there to help you, but at the same time, it's called garbage in, garbage out. If you are not understanding something and you put it in there without thinking, the end result will be wrong. That's why the desktop version of the bookkeeping of the QuickBooks is very, very powerful. Online version, there are lots of online courses here. I'm telling you seriously, there are lots of them. Freshline, I think they are fresh books. There are like a lot of them. I think I don't off the top of my head, but there are lots of online courses which are there, which are very not courses. I would say they're like online
Tutorials.
Software.
Oh, software.
Software. That's what my idea was. Software. So all these software, they module, they will always have the accounts payable, account receivable, the payroll, they will have the banking, they will have all those things. Every software has got this thing. The platform remains the same. Bookkeeping is bookkeeping. It's the way that things are done. Because if you start going into directly into online bookkeeping or online course, not course, I would say, online software, without understanding how it works, then you will have lots of problems. Then you will have you will end up doing something wrong, and then it will create lots of problem for other people to firstly find your where you made a mistake and then correct it. So online softwares are important and useful only when you have a very good understanding of how bookkeeping works. Then any software you pick up, they all will have, they might have different interfaces, but ultimately their main aim is to record the transactions. And that's what all bookkeeping is all about. But if you know why this particular entry is being recorded in this particular place, then you will be able to figure out, okay, whether it gets recorded here or there, you know. If I ask you a question, or if you ask yourself a question, or your employer asks you a question, you know where you recorded it, why you recorded it, right? So that's why I personally feel desktop QuickBooks or desktop Sage Accounting is very useful. There is a online version of it, I know that, but I still feel that anybody who wants to get a very, very good understanding of bookkeeping should always have a grounding in bookkeeping. In fact, for that matter, any subject you pick up, whether you want to become an accountant or you want to become a lawyer, you have to have a very grounded understanding of how things work. And if you don't have that, and your base is weak, then the building that you're going to put it on is going to fall down or crash very quickly. That's what it is.
Thank you. And please give us some thumbs up if you can hear us okay. I see that some people are wondering saying that there is
lots of
a problem
questions
with the audio. So all the participants, please give us thumbs up if you can hear us well, or comment on that.
Welcome any comment, any questions you guys have.
Yes,
please feel free.
We have some questions actually, quite a few. So the first question is from Suad. Is there any opportunity to find a job without any Canadian experience after taking this certificate? What's your recommendation on that, Sanjay? How to find a job without a Canadian experience?
Yeah, this is a tricky one. Especially, I know I myself have faced that problem, and a lot of my friends face this problem, because Canadian experience is very, very important. But what it does is that if you have a good, like if you say, okay, I have done this particular certification, which is recognized by CAB, Certified, Bookkeeping Association. So that association, when you put that on your resume, that at least you will get a foot in. Because that will may say, okay, this guy has done something where he or she has a good understanding of how things are working. So you might get an opportunity. What I would suggest you is, even if you have to start very, very low, try to start it. I mean, if there are cases where people have offered voluntary services, and I've seen with my own eyes. This guy came, very young guy. He was from outside Canada. He came, he had some bookkeeping, he had done a bookkeeping certification, and he came, he said, I wanted to, do a job. And they said, like, well, we don't have anything for you right now. Do you want to do voluntary services? He said, okay, I'm ready to do voluntary services. He did it, and within 1 month, he was hired as a bookkeeper. Within 1 month. And this I'm talking about an accounting firm. Not a company, accounting firm. Accounting firms are a small company comparatively, and if they are very small accounting firms, there could be a lot of problem. So they will not hire somebody as a bookkeeper unless they find that this guy knows his or her stuff. So that's why when you do this course, you get a good understanding of how the bookkeeping works. Even if you have good understanding when you were back in your country, add to that, when you know how things move here, it becomes a advantage for you, and you can tell it, look, I have got a very good rich experience in bookkeeping, but I don't have a Canadian experience, but I have got this certification. You give me a opportunity to do this stuff, and then of course you can do that. That's
Yeah,
the best way. And the second way also, there's one more way I would like to point. This is something which I also learned in Canada. Is go, don't just put your resume online and assume that people are going to call you back. You should be physically going to them. Try to elicit a interview from, if possible, the owner.
not a good advice now, Sanjay.
No. I'm okay. I'm not saying, okay, let's say, if you don't do that, what will happen? I understand what you're saying. Without the course, if you try to go there, you will have lots of, nobody's going to entertain you. But if you have a CAB certified course, then your chances of getting into somewhere is very high. Still, there will be a problem, but it will be much, much better than not doing at all any course. If you think that I have done lots of bookkeeping from there, it's so easy. No, it's never going to be easy. I'm telling you, this is my frank opinion. It's going to be very, very hard. That's why these courses are here. They help you. They help you to fast track you into the Canadian market. And that's what I personally feel.
No, I was just commenting on, you said go there in person. I mean, right now everything is kind of virtual.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, sorry.
But
Sorry.
even like a phone call, a phone call would work,
I
right?
was like totally I just forgot about the COVID thing. You're right. I cannot go physically. It's not possible.
But at least to call them, right? Or
call them and, try to, maybe at least get a what you call the phone interview. If you can get one of that. That's where you can get it. Yeah.
Right. And
sorry about that.
as Sanjay has mentioned, this course is accredited by CBA, Canadian Bookkeepers Association. Graduates of this program can apply for a CBA membership to become registered professional bookkeepers with the association. CBA is a national non-profit association established in 2003. And CBA advances bookkeeping professionals in Canada and furthers the bookkeeping industry. So just for those who didn't know what CBA was. And yes, so we have another few questions from Linda is wondering, do you have to purchase these softwares or are they included in the course fees?
Actually, there is what you call a student version of it, which is available to everybody whenever they join. As a software, it's not part of the course. I don't think so. We included that there, but there is what you call, you are able to get a key which allows you to practice the QuickBooks software for, I think it's for 14 months, 16 months, something like that. I think that's what it's for. And so this not only applies to the Sage, but QuickBooks, both of them have got this option. They want students to learn their software because they want to be able to tell that, okay, this particular is using, it's an indirect marketing for them. So they definitely give students this opportunity to work on that software. Done.
Yeah, so you don't have to purchase the full version of QuickBooks.
Book you have to purchase, but the software no.
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you, Sanjay. I hope it answers your question, Linda. And we have another few questions from, is this course good to start your own bookkeeping business? As most of the courses are in finance and accounting and only one computerized bookkeeping course. Could you comment on that, Sanjay?
Yes, yeah, that's a good question.
Started bookkeeping.
Yeah, in fact, in my experience here in teaching these courses, I've noticed a lot of people, like, they have their own bookkeeping course, so they want to start their bookkeeping business, and they have gained a lot. I still remember one of them mentioned to me that that they really learned a lot here, which made them become give good services to their potential clients. So definitely, it's a very, very useful course. You might say that again, it's a very well designed course. It starts from the very beginning, then it moves up. The certified bookkeeping course, which is the computerized course, is like last in that particular thing. You learn about payroll, you learn about cost accounting, you learn about financial accounting, you learn about taxes, and then you have all the certified bookkeeping, because certified bookkeeping assumes that you have a good understanding of how accounting works. And so that extent, then it goes up, and then that way what it does is, once you get a good understanding of the software, once you get a good understanding of how the accounting is working, I mean, if you are already a bookkeeper, yes, then you know it, but it helps you to make you become more better. You can advertise yourself, I believe, in a way where you could say, I've done my certified bookkeeping from here. It's a recognized one, and I'm a very professional bookkeeper, and definitely I will be able to provide my services to you. So yeah, of course, it will be very useful for anybody who wants to start their bookkeeping business.
Thank you, Sanjay. And what qualities do you think a successful bookkeeper should have to succeed in the industry?
Absolutely, that's a very, very good question. So in general, before what happened today, the overall thing is you should understand what is happening. Like there is always this question of accounting. The definition of accounting is where the classification is so very important. Transaction is very simple to record, but to make sure that you understand how it is getting impacted, how it's impacting the overall company's performance, you should be able to do it that way. So that's a very, very important thing. That's what I personally feel, that you should do it. That's.
Thank you, Sanjay. And we have one question from anonymous attendee. I'd like to know if you think that bookkeeping is also going increasingly remote, like many other professional activities. Do you think that bookkeeping will be transferred and be fully online as a profession, or do you think it requires?
Okay, so do you think that in the near future there will be robots who will be doing the entries automatically? There will be somebody who has to punch in the data. Mm-hmm. Has to be somebody. Yeah. That somebody who's punching in the data will be somebody who's going to be a bookkeeper. So the bookkeeper is not going to go away anywhere. What is going to happen is that it is going to be it's a knowledge era right now. It's a century of knowledge where people have knowledge and they use that knowledge. So this is how the bookkeeping is going to always remain there, because that's a very basic stuff. If you are a good bookkeeper, and they will always be in demand, let me tell you. An accountant cannot do everything. What's the role of an accountant? Let's differentiate between accountant and a bookkeeper. A bookkeeper is somebody who records transactions and then records it in the QuickBooks or any other software, and then it's done at that point. They can produce the accounting, the financial statements and everything. But that's where the work stops generally of a bookkeeper. Then starts the accountant. What's the role of an accountant? Accountant not there to record entries. He or she is there to analyze the transactions, to see whether the transactions have been recorded improperly or not. So that's the rule of bookkeeper comes in. If you are a good bookkeeper, then you will be liked by your accountant. I can give you so many examples where people, because of bad bookkeeping, the accountants were really put under a lot of pressure. They were literally doing bookkeeping job, and it's not bookkeeping is a like a low level job. Bookkeeping is very, very important job. But then again, you can do only one thing at a time. You cannot do both the things. You cannot do bookkeeping and analyze it also. So that's why it's very, very important that you should have this bookkeeper as such will always be in demand. So it's not going to go away. It's not in the near future. I don't think so it's going to go away. It will remain there. Wherever there is a knowledge required, wherever there is a transaction happening, bookkeeping will always be there. And that's why these softwares are there. If these softwares were not there, if they're thinking that it's going to go away, no, then why would they keep on upgrading themselves? They are making it life easy for you as a bookkeeper. But again, remember that adage, garbage in, garbage out. If you are not putting the stuff in correctly, end result will be bad, even if the software is very smart. That's how I think.
Thank you, Sanjay. That's a great answer. Hope it answers your question. So a few mentions. So we have this program offered live online as a full-time, and it starts in September 21st, and it goes till December 15th if you join full-time. And we also offer it part-time on part-time basis, October 6th to May 11th, 2021. And or just a few technical requirements as of course you have to have a computer and a strong Wi-Fi, and specifically for this course, please note that QuickBooks Desktop is not compatible with Mac computers, okay? And the webinar times for full-time program will be Monday to Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. PST. So of course, take in consideration the time zones if you're joining us from Ontario or New Brunswick or some other provinces. Also, if you're joining part-time, the webinars will be Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. PST. Let's see if we have more questions from our students on the webinar. I just posted also how you can get free access to QuickBooks Online through education program. But don't worry, this will be given to you once you join the program. Everything is going to be explained. You will receive the list of books you need to get in your welcome email. Yes, books you have to purchase. I saw that there was one question about the book. Yeah, it's different books for each module, and you will get the list of the books that you need to get, and you can decide yourself if you want to get them in a hard copy or if you want to get them as an ebook. Of course, ebook is cheaper, and but this are the books that you can use later in life, you know, to go back and review different things, even when you're already practicing bookkeeping or accounting. So they will stay with you. So Suad is wondering, can he take this program without any previous experience in the field?
Yes, no problem at all. There are people here who are moving from one. I in fact had I think 2-3 people in my group, if I remember correctly. They were all new. They didn't have any understanding of how the debits and credits work. But yes, definitely. And the main thing is that you have to do some extra work in the sense that you need to put in some extra hours, understand how the overall thing works. Anything can be learned if you have the passion, the desire. If you are good in one profession, you're moving to another profession, it's just a matter of using those soft skills and using it here and try to learn anything new. Anything new can be learned. And in today's era, it's a very exciting time. Again, I'm telling you, people are moving from one place to another. So it's a good time to, maybe, become a good bookkeeper, and who knows, maybe start your own bookkeeping business. This will always be in demand. There will be people there who will like to have, their books taken care of by somebody who's a very good bookkeeper on whom they can rely. Why not? Accountants are expensive, also very expensive, and they don't have time to devote. They can only give them the higher level. What about the lower level? So always don't think lower level as a bad thing. It is just a one step ahead. So 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. This is a very good course. So please do not think anyway that this is not going to be useful for you. It will be, whether you are new to this profession, you will be. We are here. All the instructors are well trained. They are well experienced. They will share with you. They will help you all along. And as personally, I mean, I always say, my doors are open. If you have any questions, you can email me. I try to answer the questions as soon as possible. And always try to help. And remember, no question is bad question. All questions are good questions. That's how you learn. There should be, if you're inquisitive about something, you will do well. Whether you are like, let's say you are a teacher, let's say not teacher, like a school teacher, and you want to go into bookkeeping, you will still do well. Because if your passion for teaching, why not here?
And how much bookkeepers can expect to get paid as they just starting their career?
Anywhere from 16 to 20 an hour, depending upon what type of a company you are joining, or what's the overall structure of that. Because usually accounting firms pay less But if you go into like a proper company, they have the rates are somewhere around between 16 to 20. And again, it's a very good experience. You might start a little bit, cheaper. You might be cheap initially, but if you can prove yourself, people will pay you. Remember this thing. People will pay you, and there are people who can earn 30, 40, and then at some point you can start your own bookkeeping business also. So yes, that's how it is.
Great. And there's another question from Suad. He's wondering, do I need any specific computer skills to start this program? Or will you teach any computer skills?
Just a basic Microsoft Office stuff, very basic, not a very like highly advanced, I would say. Something like you should be able to, like, if you can browse the internet, if you can go on the email, you can do emails, and you know how to,
Yes.
what are the keyboards. That's, I think, required. It's not like very technical thing.
Yes, if you were able to connect to this webinar, I think you're fine.
Yes.
Yes, and actually our first course that we offer, it's actually called microcomputer application software. So that's when we actually teach you.
Absolutely, that's in fact, that's I forgot to mention. I should have mentioned that's a very that's a very good platform for you to come up. Like once you understand a little bit of Microsoft Office, and then you go on, it makes your things much better. It makes you more confident to handle things going forward. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when we cover if you have some gaps during that first course. Yes. Okay, and so we can open our mic right now. If you want to ask any questions live, you can raise your hand. Please press this button on your screen that you see, and we'll unmute you, and you can ask your questions live. So thank you so much. Yes. If you missed any part of this info session, you can always email us at info@ashtoncollege.ca at any time, or call us during business hours at 604-899-0803 with any of the questions and your specific requirements. Or you can always check also our website and access a demo class that we hosted. The link is posted in the chat box. Is it hard to open your own business as a bookkeeper? What does it require? And what are the main steps of students after completing this certificate, Sanjay?
Well, once you complete the certification, then, when you're in the process of finishing it up, and when you're at the very end of it, you should start looking for different options. The main thing is, firstly, you have to decide whether you want to do a job or not. See, the thing is, if you want to start your own bookkeeping business, you should not start it without gaining a very good understanding of doing bookkeeping and getting exposed to different industries. If you are an experienced bookkeeper and working and getting exposed to different industries, then yes, it makes sense to start your own bookkeeping business. Otherwise, if you think that you will be immediately, once you do the certification, you will be able to start your business, it's not going to be that easy. Because I'm not saying because of you have a good understanding. We are here to make sure that you have got a very good understanding of how things are, and you will be able to pick up very fast. But remember one thing, that anybody who's trying to give you the business will expect you to have a certain level of practical experience, and that experience comes when you work for someone. So, and it applies to any business. If you want to start any business, and if you don't have any idea about what the business is all about, and you go into it, you are going to have problems. So you have to have some practical thing, and this is a very good step in that direction, where you get the certification, then you move on, work with somebody, company. Along with this, keep on developing your, I would say, keep on developing your relationships. Try to see, if there are anybody here whom you can help. Maybe give them some voluntary services. They check yourself there whether you can do it, and then once you're getting some confidence, then go for it. That's how I feel.
Thank you, Sanjay. And we have another question from Linda. She's wondering if we offer any other classes after October and May, October to May. Yes, the new intake will be also in January. So we'll be posting those dates shortly. So if you are unable to join in October or September, there will be a class in January for sure, full-time and part-time. So nobody is raising hands. Nobody wants to ask any questions live. This is your chance to do so if you want. And there was another questions in Q&A wondering if basically how to register with CBA. What do we have to do in the course to qualify to write the exam with Bookkeeping Association? To qualify, in order to apply for a CBA membership, you would need to successfully pass this program in all the modules, right? So you have to achieve good marks in all the modules and participate in at least 70% of classes live, and an average of 70% in all courses. So Linda is also wondering, she noticed that this program is based in BC, and does the curriculum teach tax law for Ontario? Sanjay?
For this thing, she has got a point there, because each province has got its own laws, and it becomes definitely difficult for this thing, because I have not taught any tax classes as of now here, although I've got good experience of teaching taxes. But personally, it all depends. What kind of a taxation course do we have? Do we have? I thought we have the corporate tax and the income tax. Is that right? Are we doing any provincial taxes?
Sorry, Sanjay is not teaching the taxation course.
Yeah, so I've not idea, because I think the GST, if he's talking about GST is federally.
We will actually cover, we cover GST and HST, so we do cover Ontario as well. The base.
Yeah, so because yes, then we're covering, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it's covered in the course, but of course, if you it gives you a good basic understanding, right? And if you want to specialize in taxation, you might need to take additional courses for taxation specifically, if you want to specialize in taxation. Yeah. So also, if you want to get a breakdown of the curriculum for the taxation, email us at info@ashtoncollege.ca to request any specific questions about the course, that specific course. Thank you, Linda. I hope it answers your questions. And what do you think students will like the most about this program, Sanjay, that we offer?
As I said to you in the very beginning, that this course is very properly structured. Its main emphasis is on starting with the very basic stuff and then going from there. So you will get a very good gamut of understanding of how bookkeeping works, the theoretical aspect of it, which will help you to, lots of assignments needs to be done, and that will ground your understanding of the bookkeeping. And then when you're going into the computerized bookkeeping, or you're going into the payroll courses, you will be able to understand it much, much better. In addition to that, the good thing is that, as I mentioned to you initially also, that this course is a fast track course. It makes it teaches you what is needed in the industry. We cut the chase. We just don't do like have everything, thing. We always, our courses are designed in such a way that we focus on what is relevant in today's industry. So to that extent, you're going to have lots of advantage of joining this course. Like when I'm teaching QuickBooks, or I'm teaching in a payroll, I try to bring in the actual example from the real life that helps to, relate to what's happening. So all these courses, all the topics are definitely very much practically oriented, and they are fast track, and they make you really they tell you, you learn this much and that's what it is, and this, then make it mastery over it, and then you are not going to, you're going to go big time. That's how I feel this course. So this is what you're going to learn, and you're going to have a lot of fun. It's a very
Thank you, Sanjay. And
comprehensive course.
how many hours you should allocate for studying each week, for home self-study,
Well, it varies from people to people. The more you are able to learn, the better it is. I would definitely advise you that since they are very fast track courses, so you should at least make sure that Saturday and Sunday, or at least one of those 2 days, you should be really, studying a lot. Along with this, try to keep up with the assignments, because the assignments are going to start coming. Like initially it will be very slow, but as we go a little bit more deeper into the course, the assignments are becoming a very prominent thing, and they are very, very important on the overall, for the course marks purposes also, the score that you're going to score. So I would say on the weekdays, maybe allocate at least, an hour at the most, an hour to two. On the weekends, try to revise it and try to practice. Practice is extremely important. The more you practice, the better you become. We will be able to give you the tools, but ultimately it is you who have to decide how much you want to learn and how much you want to do things faster. And faster means you have to learn it. So this is what my thing is. So I cannot give you like a watertight hours that have to be spent. But yes, this is the general thing that anybody would be doing.
Yes, thank you. And just to clarify once again regarding the comment about BC, this course is accredited by Canadian Bookkeepers Association. It's a national nonprofit association, right? So we cover all the provinces. This course is good for no matter where you come from, Ontario, New Brunswick, Alberta. We have students from all across Canada. Okay, so of course, if you later want to specialize in a specific taxation, or then you might need to take additional courses, but as a general course, and this is a great course to start with. And the duration in total is 240 hours. And as Sanjay has mentioned, yes, depending on your study needs, depending on your motivation, somewhere between 4 to 7 hours a week is a good fit, right? Yeah. Linda is also wondering if the exams are difficult.
See, exams are difficult. It's like, okay, so again, the exams are most of the time they're projects. If you're doing the QuickBooks or Sage, their project, there will be like a particular, there will be a scenario given to you, and you will have to do those things to record the transactions and produce reports. So that's a practical aspect of it. That's how it is. So if you have got a good understanding of how actually it works, if you have practiced a lot, then of course it will be very easy for you. There will be some quizzes. There could be some quizzes also, which we try to, our main idea is to have those courses and those exams which are easy to do, but at the same time, they require some understanding from your side. They are not like, straightforward, but they are straightforward for those people who have spent some time working on the course. That's how I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you, Sanjay. So I hope we answered all your questions. Linda says, thank you. It's great answers, Sanjay. If this version of this info session will be also available online. We will distribute it through our social media. It will be also posted on our website. So in case you missed any part of it. And if we don't have any more questions, we will wrap up. Thank you everyone who was at the background. Thank you all the attendees who came. And thank you, Sanjay. It was great to have you here today. Please join us for September or October, and we'll be glad to have you in class with us. And please apply. The deadline to apply is at least 1 week before the start date. So just to mention, and thank you. Bye-bye.